Hello and welcome to Friday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and happy Halloween to you all. In fact, it's the second edition of Cracking the Cryptic today because I did a crossword video earlier by an old friend of mine, John Grimshaw. And, well, we've got the return of an old friend to the channel today in the form of fjam. fjam, I think, has featured on Halloween for about the last 4 years. With these puzzles that are themed on the graveyard. So this one is called the Graveyard of Emptiness, and they all have a similar rule, which is that you have to get from the top to the bottom. You have to find a path through the graveyards, and you can see all of the cages have these sort of grave-like dates on them, and I don't think we're allowed to go through the highest or the lowest. Oh, it says values in a grave because there's some nullifier cell in this one. I think this is meant to be very, very hard. I can tell you we ran it through 2 testers. I'm not sure either of them finished it. And it's got 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters. I found it before I turned on the webcam, and everyone who has solved it thinks it's brilliant. Well, I'm going to have a go at it because it seems fitting that we should do this on Halloween. And I'll read you the rules of this one in a moment or two's time. Now, I've got loads of things I need to mention before then. Stratford upon Avon is happening this Sunday, so Mark and I are hoping to meet some of you then. 10 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So fingers crossed it goes well. I am quite nervous, but that's the nature of me. There are some tickets left. If you do find yourself in the area, I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen to that. Also, tomorrow is the 1st of November, and the 1st of November means that we have a brand new Patreon reward coming, a new Sudoku hunt. It'll go live at 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, and we really hope you enjoy it. It's got rather less puzzles than the 68 5x5 puzzles from last month, but all the puzzles in this month's Sudoku hunt are 9x9, and we really hope you enjoy them. So get involved. It's happening. It all goes live tomorrow. The closing date will be the 20th of November as usual. Now, what else? Blueprints. We're returning to the Blueprints Mansion on Monday evening at 10 p.m. UK time. Love to have your company for that. And I'm sure there are other things I need to say as well, but I do have some birthdays to do. So let me look at my list of birthdays. And let's start by wishing Ben a very happy 43rd birthday today. I know it's your birthday because your wife Kat wrote to me. She's very thankful. I think she's thankful for a lot of things, but particularly your humour and introducing her to Cracking the Cryptic 3 years ago. I'm also grateful that you did that, Ben, so thank you. And apparently you're a big fan of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I have never heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl. And in Dungeon Crawler Carl, there is a princess called Princess Donut. Does this make any sense to anybody? And therefore, for your birthday, I gather you're having donuts, and some of them may be chocolate flavoured. I like donuts too, Ben, so I can get on board with that. I'm intrigued about Dungeon Crawler Carl and Princess Donut. I will have to look them up, though. And Ben, many happy returns. Next birthday. Carla, it's your birthday today, and I know this because your friend at work, Isaac, wrote and thought, I think he thinks it's going to be funny for me to say happy birthday to you. He noted that you often refer to him at work as a nerd, and he completely agrees with you. He is a nerd, and I think he thought that if I sort of wished you happy birthday and I'm a nerd, this would try and persuade you that nerds are actually cool. Unfortunately, what Isaac has overlooked is that I am just quintessentially uncool, and therefore my birthday wishes will only reinforce any stereotype that you may have pencil marked Isaac with. Anyway, I've also got to tell you something, which is may Harvey bless you and keep you safe, and may Harvey make your years numerous and fantastic. I have no idea what that means either. I think it's something to do with your boss, Harvey, and some sort of quasi-religion that you have. Anyway, Carla, many happy returns. Next, the birthday wishes are getting madder and madder. Caroline, this one isn't mad, this is lovely. Caroline, you've turned 1 today. And I know this because your grandma Leslie wrote to me and thought it would be nice to wish you a happy birthday. I know that your mum Alice used or watched Cracking the Cryptic a lot during pregnancy as a distraction. But Leslie wrote of Caroline. I think this is absolutely gorgeous, that Caroline has filled a gap in all their lives that they didn't know existed. Isn't that lovely? So Caroline, I don't know if you'll get to watch this, but I do wish you many, many happy returns. You probably can't have chocolate cake yet, but if you can, enjoy it. And then finally, we have another birthday, and this is to Maverick, believe it or not. Not our Maverick, a different Maverick. Maverick is a shelter puppy who has been adopted by Mouse over there in Nebraska. And apparently Maverick was found wandering just before a horrific storm in January 2024 and was taken into a shelter where Mouse's mother found Maverick and immediately took him home and told Mouse that she was keeping Maverick for Mouse. So anyway, I've got a picture. Let me find Maverick's picture. Oh, look. This is Maverick. And Mouse says this might be our smallest adult fan at just 7.2 kilograms. You're probably right. I think Maverick does curl up with Mouse and watch the videos. And although Maverick has been known to get very exercised about wasps, as I do, and other insects, with Cracking the Cryptic videos, absolutely fine, and I'm delighted to hear it. So Maverick, many, many happy returns. I hope you get this message loud and clear. And now, on this Halloween, let's turn our attention to the Graveyard of Emptiness by fjam. These are the rules of the puzzle. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. One cell in each row, column and region is a nullifier cell. Nullifier cells have a value of 0. Now, okay, one thing, as I was reading that rule, I suddenly wondered whether nullifier cells all had to be different digits, but it doesn't say that, so maybe you can repeat digits in nullifier cells. But wherever we find a nullifier cell, it's going to have a value of 0. In graves, brackets cages, values must sum to the day, month, or year of the date on the grave. Digits cannot repeat within graves. Oh, good grief. Does that mean values can... So could you have two nullifiers in a cage? Is that possible? Could that be a nullifier and that be a nullifier? I don't know. But based off my reading of the rules, that might be a possibility. So that's going to make it even more crazy. Right, but let's ignore nullifiers for a moment. What we're saying is, I'm trying to find something that let's look at that one. So that one, the digits in it, if we ignore nullifiers, either sum to 10, 16 or 18. That seems to be true. But we've also got this nullifier thing going on that's going to make everything completely nuts. And then there's only one more rule. It says, escape the graveyard by carefully plotting an orthogonally connected path between the green and the red cells. What does an orthogonally connected path mean? It means that, let's find a pen. We can't do that. That is not an orthogonal connection between this cell and this cell. It's a diagonal connection. We need to move in the direction of in a cardinal direction, north, south, east, west, across cells that share edges, basically. So we've got to make a path, and the path may not cross the highest or lowest values in a grave. may not cross the highest or lowest values in a grave. So, I mean, I hope this doesn't count as solving. So if that was a negator, let's have a colour for a negator, we'll make it a black cell. So if that was a negator cell, or no, it's not called a negator, it's called a nullifier. If that was a nullifier cell, it would have a value of 0, and therefore it couldn't be on the path, could it? Because it would have the lowest value in its grave. I'm just trying to think if that's true even if there were several nullifiers. I think it is still true if there were several nullifiers in a grave, because they'd all have a value of 0, and that would be still the lowest value in the grave. Oh my goodness, this is going to be confusing. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I say let's get cracking. What on earth? So is that going to be a 7, 8, 9 cage? Could be 24. Hang on. Sorry, it's ever the way. When I start one of these puzzles, I realise I haven't really understood I've read the rules, and as I've read them, I've understood them, but I haven't sort of taken them into my brain in a usable way. So there's one nullifier in each row, column and box. And the path has to go... Right, okay, so I'm going to start with the path, I think, rather than anything else. Yeah. Okay, so in a 3-cell cage, it's quite difficult to go into a 3-cell cage, isn't it? Because there's going to be 3 values in a 3-cell cage, and the only one we're allowed to go into is the middle value. So we could only ever visit 1 cell in a 3-cell cage. And in fact, if you did have a cage that had 2 negators, say they were both negators, which actually isn't possible here because we couldn't write 10 into this cell, but if they were both negators, then this would be the highest value of the cage, and you simply couldn't go into that cage at all. So the maximum number of cells we can go into in any 3-cell cage is 1. Right, so we can't go into that cell ever. Because if we do, we would have had to have come through at least one of those cells, or be moving into at least one of those cells, and that would be impossible. So that cell is not on the path, I'm going to claim. Now, how are we going to indicate that? Let's put an X in it. Oh, that's a bit dramatic, isn't it? Let's put a lighter X in it. That's not on the path. And let's go round the grid and identify cells like that. Now, that one, again, that can't be on the path. Again, because either we'd have come from one of these 2 cells, or if we did come this way into the path, which I don't think is possible anyway, we would be moving into one of these cells. What about that one? Can we say anything about that one? See, that's rotten. This cage is rotten, because what you could do here, I think, is do something like that. You can certainly do that, I think. So I'm not sure I can do the same thing with this one. Okay, well, let's think about 4-cell cages then. So 4-cell cages, there's going to be a high value and a low value. So I could go through 2 cells in a 4-cell cage. Oh, no, that could be on the path. Oh, bobbins. Oh dear, I don't know then. Ah, you can't go in a corner. I can't go there. Because to get there, given I've got to move orthogonally, I would have had to go like that. And that's taken 3 cells of a 4-cell cage. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that by exactly the same logic. golly, I don't know. This is already very difficult, isn't it? There's not much to go on here. So it must be the actual totals of the graves. Or the thing is, the negators are horrific. They're horrific because they can destroy. Well, obviously they can destroy value. So ordinarily, you could look at that cage and you could say, the 9 value is an impossible value because there are 4 different digits in that cage, and the minimum sum of 4 different digits would be 10. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. However, if there's a negator in there, it could contain that, and that, it could contain a 9 negated, and then the other 3 digits could easily add up to 9. That would be fine. Oh dear. Okay, I don't really know what to do then. Is there any other rule? No, not really. Not really. Is it going to be using the secret somehow then? Sorry, and the secret of Sudoku, and I know some of you know this already, but if you don't, it's something I share with only my very favourite people. But of course, if you're watching this video, you're definitely one of my favourite people. The secret of Sudoku is that the digits 1 to 9 sum to the number 45. So I know that that box contains digits that sum to 45. I know it has a negator in it. So it's really difficult to use this, isn't it? What about that one? That's only got 1 external cell in it. So it couldn't be. Yeah, the gravestones are counting actual counts, aren't they? So it's not like you can say 33 plus 17 is 50 and then negate a 5 or something like that and say, now we're back down to the realms of realism. The 33, if it was true, is counting the non-nullified cells. So 33 feels quite difficult here, but now you see that could be, normally that couldn't be a 5 because it could be 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 being the minimum would add up to 6, but if there's something negated in there, that's absolutely fine. I mean, normally this couldn't add up to 10 because obviously there are 5 cells, but if one of them's, if that did sum to 10, if that 10 was correct, this would be absolutely exactly 1, 2, 3, and 4 as counting digits and the negator, which could be, obviously the negator could be filled with anything. So if that was the case, if this, hang on, let me just write this in. If this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say that was a negator, what I'm wondering is this cage now, well, that digit is real and is at least a 5. So this would have to add up to 24. So it would be 7, 8, 9, and all of those would be real. I think that's okay. If that's 7, 8, 9, does that cause a problem in box 1? That one, oh no, see, that could be 7, 8, 9 as well. If those 3 digits were from 7, 8, 9, that would probably be okay. Can this sort of origin cell be a negator? Is that allowed? 1 cell in each row, column and region is a nullifier. Region, presumably that's a 3 by 3 box, is it? I've sort of assumed that. Nullifier cells must have a value of 0. I don't know, maybe actually that cell in the corner could be a nullifier. Let me just come back to this. If that was, what would be the total for that? That would have to be real digits, so that couldn't add up to 17, because the minimum this would be 5, 6, 7, and 5, 6, 7 is 18. So this would be so this would be 7. Oh, hang on, that would be 7, 8, 9 as well. Hang on, there's a... Okay, I might have actually been able... Oh, well, when I say I might have been able to do something here, I haven't done very much. All I would be able to say is that this doesn't total 10. I mean, which is a deduction, but it's just not a very good deduction. But I think that's right, isn't it? Because the minimum... This, if that's a negator, this has nothing negated in it. So it's at least 5, 6, 7... because it can't involve 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's adding to 18 minimum, which means it is adding to 24, which means it is 7, 8, 9. And what's that digit? And the answer is, it has no value that's going to be of any use to it, because this needs to add to 24 as well. So actually, I see, what I was going to say is not true. It's not true. I was going to then go on and say, okay, so the negator is not in this box, but that's not true. Oh, this is so hard, because it could have a negator in it and add to 22. And that obviously changes everything. It changes everything. Okay, so what we do know is that these 5 digits, whether there's a nullifier or not, are summing to at least 22. Maybe we can rule out 33. 33. You can't do 33 in only 4 cells, because 9, 8, 7 and 6 only add up to 30. So if this did add to 33, all of them would sort of be counting cells. Then one of these would be a negator. It might have to be that one. I'm not sure how you could make this work. No, it would have... If this did add to 33... Yeah, this is going to do something, I think. I don't think this can add to 33. Because now one of these is a negator. Oh, hang on. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Oh, no. I didn't think of that being a 5. Oh, this is really difficult. I don't quite know how to approach it. Okay, I wouldn't... Hang on, let me think this through. If all of those are natural, i.e., no, well, specifically, if this does add to 33, then the digits in here add up to 12. So there is simply no way that this total for this grave could be 17 or 24. It has to add up to 5, which means it's got a negator in it. Don't know where it goes, but let's put it there. So these digits now add up to 5, which means these digits add up to 38. And that's a real digit. But well, how does that work? If that's a real digit, but now there's no real restriction. It could be a very low real digit. But it can't be itself a negator. So the maximum number of negators in this box, in this cage I should say, is 1 negator, which could be in one of those 2 cells. Yeah, that doesn't work then. Because the reason that doesn't work, I think, is that I don't see how the total can be derived here. They can put one negator in, which means it's got two real counting digits in it. Now they can't add up to 1 or 2 because there are 2 of them and they have to be different. So that means that if we are in this world, this is still adding up to 24, and that doesn't work. Because that makes this a real massive old digit, and I've just said that those digits sum to 38. So if this digit is the minimum I could put in here, which would be a 7, now these digits sum, their plain vanilla sum is 45, and yet that is a digit, it's just a nullified digit, so it can't work. This box adds up to more than 45 from its digits once that one is included. Right. So what does that mean? I think that does mean something. I've just got to work out what it is. So hang on, let's get rid of everything and let's recapitulate what we now know. We know, you see, it might be all this does is tells me this is a 22 cage. I know this isn't a 10 cage. I know it's not a 33 cage. That's what I've just proved. So this is a 22 cage. But I don't know whether it's got a negator in it or not. Okay, but now this cage, knowing that this is a 22 cage, this can't be a 24 cage. Because then the real digits in these cages, absent nullifiers, add up to more than 45. So this doesn't add up to 24. I very much doubt it can add up to 5. Can it really add up to 5? If it adds up to 5, again it's got a negator in it. And these would add up to 5, and these would add up to 22. So I'd be on 27. No, that doesn't work. I can't make 7 different numbers in Sudoku add up to 27 because the triangular number for 7 is 28. If I add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, I get 28. That's too small. Right. So this, you see, I still don't know if it's got a negator in it. I now know it adds up to 17, but it could have a negator in it and an 8-9 pair of counting digits. But okay, but I do know that that's got real counting digits of 22, and that's got real counting digits of 17. So I'm on 39 for real counting digits here. So either this is a negator, hang on, how does that work? I'm sorry, this is not easy for me. 39. So if I'm on 39, I've got to decide, and I am on 39, I just don't know whether there's a negator in the 39. I think that's going to be the trick, because it's going to tell me whether this is real or not. And I think if this is real, this might have to be a 24 cage. But okay, if that's real, yeah, if that, maybe this is how you're meant to do it. If that is real, because I can only put one negator in, 1 and 2 are impossible totals for the reasons we've already discussed. So if this is real, this is a 24 cage, and this is a 7, 8 or 9. And then how much real stuff have I now got? I've got too much real stuff. Aha! Yeah. So but this is 17, this is 22. So if this was real, this would be at least a 7, and that's blowing the total for this box, because I'd have real at least 7, real 17, real 22. That's more than 45, even with a negator having been taken into account. So this is not real. This is a negator. And if it's a negator, this is not adding up to 24. I don't think both of these can be real. Because if they were both real, they would add up to at least 3 if they were a 1-2 pair. So that is also, this is an outrage, because the puzzle has started for me with a double negator cage. And that digit, you see, I still don't know what that digit is then. It depends whether it's 1 or 2. Because I don't know what the grave is. But I do know that there must be a negator thing down there. And I know that everything else in these rows, columns and boxes is an actual digit. When I say an actual digit, I mean obviously there are going to be actual digits in the nullifiers, but like a counting digit. Yeah, so now, this is great. Right, I've got something. I've actually got something concrete. I know what that cage sums to, because it's entirely real. So I can rule out 9, because the triangular number for 4 is 10. I can rule out 12, because a real 4-cell 12 cage needs a 1 and a 2 in it. It's either going to be 1, 2, 3, 6 or 1, 2, 4, 5. So this must be a 13 cage, and it doesn't have both 1 and 2 in it. So it must be 1, 3, 4, 5. That's the only way of making it work, and that's going to give me an actual digit. This is 1, 3, 4, 5. And now, okay, I don't know, but I know these cells are 6, 7, 8, 9. How long has that taken me to get? It's taken me 32 minutes to get a digit. Now, now what do you do? I know what you do. Can't I do maths on this now? Because I know that is a real 17. I know that is a real 22. And 22 and 17 is 39. So the secret tells us that this is a 6 to get the box up to 45, although of course it doesn't count. Now, you can't repeat a 6 in a column, and you can't repeat a 6 in a cage. It says that. So 6 is in one of those two, so 6 is in one of these 3. Not sure what that's doing. It's really... I worked out I couldn't go in there, didn't I? Okay, here is a good point. I can't take more than 2 cells of a 4-cell cage. I mean, this cage has got 1, 3, 4 and 5 in it. If I took 3 cells, I would definitely hit either the lowest or the highest, wouldn't I? So I don't think I can go downwards. I'd go downwards, I'd have to turn right, and then the next one is that one or that one. And that's not allowed. So I think I go there. And now I can't go downwards because I'd have to go there or there, and that's going to take 3. So I go there, and now I can't go into this one. Oh no, I don't want to lose my lovely yellow cross. So I must go downwards. And now I can't. This is so. Oh, well, I definitely can't go that way because that would be a 3rd cell in the 13 cage. I can't go there either, can I? Because that would be a 2nd cell in a 3-cell cage, and again I'm going to run into trouble with that cell would have to be the lowest or the highest. So I think I've got to go downwards again. Maybe I could go there now and turn. We looked at that possibility earlier. But I'm perfectly happy with this. Because now I know what these two digits are, don't I? They have to be the middly digits of the 13 cage. So they have to be a 3-4 pair, and these have to be a 1-5 pair. And that's another deduction for the goodies. Well, at least we've got started. This is much better. Now, how could that be a 9? 9 is indisputably the largest value in this puzzle. So if you go through a 9 on the path, you've definitely broken it, because it will be the highest value in its cage. And in fact, therefore, yeah, this is a 24 cage, I think, because this is a 6, 7 or an 8, which means the second, and it's the middly digit, remember, in this cage. So there's got to be a digit bigger. Let's say this was 6. There has to be a 7 or higher counting in this cage, which takes the total up to 13 at least, and 10 and 12 are lower, so then they're now impossible totals. So the correct total is 24, which means this is actually 7, 8, 9. Let's just pop that in, but we need to get rid of, well, actually I know what that is then, because that's got to be the middle of those three values, so that's got to be 8. And now neither of these cells, well, I mean, actually we sort of knew that already, but neither of those cells are ever allowed to be in the piece, are they? And we can take 8 out of these cells, and we can write our 6 into this cell. And now, if that is a, we know that's not a 24 cage. I've got to try and remember. Right, I've got to remember this is a 17 cage. So let's write 17 here, and I'll write 22 here. See, I'm not going to remember that. I know I'm not. I'm going to get to this, and I'm going to use those as pencil marks at some stage, and that's going to be a problem. I've got to try and remember that's 17 and that's 22. Now, these are real. They're both real because they have to count to get to my 24 total. So the naughty old digit in this one is in one of 4 places. And now you look at it and just think, what on earth are you meant to do now? No, what I was about to say is not true. This cage is not 23 because it can't have a 6 in it. 6, 8, 9 would be how you do 23. And in fact, I don't think it can be an 8 cage. Now the reason for that is it's a bit Sudoku-y of all things. But one of these digits, 7 or 9, has to be in this cage because I can only put one of them there. So by Sudoku, the other one is going in there along with 2 counting digits because there's no negators in there. So this adds up to 13, and it's if it's got 9 in it, we would know it would be 139. So it's either 139 or it's got 7 in it. And if it's got a 7 in it, it needs 6 more, which would be 15 because it couldn't be 24. So it's made up entirely of odd numbers, and it always has 1 in it, I think. Let me just double check that. If it's got 7 in it, I need 6 more. Yeah, that must be correct. So one. Okay, 1 is now in one of 2 places in box 2. So there's a virtual 7-9 pair and a 1 used, and then either 3 or 5. So 4 and 8 in this row are in these cells, aren't they? Is that true? I feel like that's true. These are from 3, 4, 5, 8. Now. This is so difficult. I mean, what on earth am I meant to do with that knowledge? Is it to do with the 1, 5 here? I don't know. It might be. Or... I'm sorry, I'm looking at the cages. I'm trying to understand whether or not I think that they're in any way restricted, and it just doesn't look very easy to me to do that. Golly gosh, I don't know. Is it that one? That one's got 2 real digits in it, one of which is at least a 4. If I make that one an 8, does that do something to that cage maybe? Let's check that. If that's an 8, 14, hang on, maybe this cage, because all of these digits are actually real because of these 2 being in their row. I think without knowing the path though, it's very hard to say whether that can be a high digit or not. It could be. I think it can be. Could be an 8, that's 14. These could be a 1-3 pair for 18, or they could be 11. They could add up to 11 and get to 25. I mean, the only thing is, if that is 8, this can't add up to 12, obviously. Okay, let me just have a look at this one again. So this one, okay, this one definitely doesn't add up to 7. There's no way, because the minimum value of those 2 cells on their own is 7. I can only put 1 negator in. So this either adds up to 20 or 24. Now 24, if that was 8, 5, 13, those would have to add up to 11. Yeah, I don't think they can do that. That might be wrong, but again, many things in this puzzle are very hard to grok. Right, 20, yeah, I'm just thinking, 24 generally, if I can't use 7 or 9, that's quite tricky to do. 8, 6, 5 is 19. No, you just can't do it. It's simply impossible. There's no way to do it if you can't use 7 or 9. You could use 8, 6, 5, but then the other digit would have to be at least a 5, and you've got no high digits available. So, right, so this does add up to 20, definitely. Right. Now, but we don't know whether it's got a negator. It probably can't have, but I'm not sure about that. No, it can't have, can it? The maximum we could put 3 digits in here that would be 8, 6 and 5. That's only 19. Right, so there's no negator in there. Okay, that is a win for the goodies. The negator is in this funny old cage, and these all count. And I might be prepared to say they've got to have an 8 in. I think they do, don't they? 6, 5, 4 is 15. That's nowhere near. For the other digit would have to be a 5 at least, and that's not available. We've already used it. So there is an 8 in here, and the 8... So that this is not an 8. There's an 8 in one of these. That's right, isn't it? I concluded, and there can't be an 8 in here. No, there can't be an 8 in here. This was adding up to 13. I remember that, and it's already got a 7 or a 9 in it. So there is an 8 in here. And there might be a 4 in here. But if there isn't a 4, there's a 3 or a 5. And then these two digits are adding up to the balance to get us to 20. Right, so the digits that aren't the 8 are adding up to 12. And they're not 912, they're not 813, they're not 732 or 714. So they're either 3, 4, they're not 3, 4, 5. We can't, you can't make these, you can't make this 8, 3, 4, 5. That's going to destroy this cell's ability to exist. So they do involve 6. That's no use either. So it's 8, 6, and then 2 digits that add up. So there's no 3 in here. 2 digits that add up to 6, I was going to say. So the 3 is getting closer to this side. So it's either 8, 4, which would mean these have to add up. Yeah, these hang on, how does that work? Those would be 2, 6, wouldn't they? That would work. That's the only way, because 1, 7 would have gone, and this 3, 5 wouldn't be available, because if this is 8, 4, that's a 3 or a 5. So if it's 8, 4, it's with 2, 6, but I don't think we'd know the order. And if it's 8, 5, then we need 2 digits that add up to 7, 8, 5, which couldn't be 3, 4 or 2, 5, so they would be 8, 1, 6, so that would be a 1. So this is the full panoply of options. But I think both are available. Wow, okay. That's so distressing. Okay, but we know that there's a negator there, so we know none of these are negators. That might help somehow. Okay. I mean, what on earth am I meant to do with this? Is this in any way tractable at all? I have not got a clue what to look at. I mean, it's very surprising that that was limited at all, but I do know there's a 1 in here. I've not thought about the path very much recently. Do I think the path can go here? Maybe. Do I think the path can go here? Yeah, I think it can. Do I want to look at this cage? Not really. It's got a negator in it. It's got 3 middly totals. It's baffling, actually. I don't know where to look. I mean, my eyes are scanning the grid. I am moving them, but I don't think that they, that they don't really have any clue where the weakness is. There must be a susceptible point where we can attack the puzzle. And I don't think I know where that is. Right, okay, but I'm going to look at this cage because I've just noticed one thing, which is I don't think this can add up to 12. I mean, again, that's not a very easy reason to see why. If this did add up to 12, I think the only way of making it work would be with a 1, 2, 3 triple here. And the reason that doesn't work is not because it couldn't do that. It could. But the path would then have gone through the highest digit in that cage, which it's not allowed to do. So I'm going to claim that this cage is either an 18 or a 25 cage. Now, I will agree with you if you're about to tell me that that is not a very big deduction. Now, so again, if this was an 18 cage, there's a minor point that's similar, which is that these 3 digits couldn't be a 3, 4, 5 triple to get to 12, because again, this would be the biggest digit in the cage. So if this is an 18, the way we're going to get to 12 here, I mean, I still think there's a lot of ways of doing it, aren't there? Am I missing something really obvious here? I don't know. Yeah, I probably am, is the short answer. Okay, well, I'm going to do it diligently because I've got nothing else to think about. So if this is 6, and we're saying this adds up to 18, these add up to 12. They can't be 3, 4, 5. So they must involve a 7, 8, or 9. Now, they can't be 9, 1, 2 because that can be none of those. So they're either 7, which would have to be there. A 7 with a 1 or a 2 here. And this wouldn't be able to be 5. It would be, these would add up to 5. Or they're 8, 8, 1, 3. Which I think can be in a variety of orders. Now that would, okay, so let me just think this through. So in both cases, actually, this couldn't be 5 in that instance. It's always either 3 or 4. But this could be 25. And that's a much more difficult total. Because then these can add up to 19. Well, they would add up to 19. Interestingly, then, that one couldn't be a 3. Because I think these would have to add up to 16, and they would be a 7-9 pair, and that would be broken. So if this is a 25 cage, this is at least a 4. So if this is a 4, these would add up to 15. And this would be a 7 or a 9, and this would be a 6 or an 8. Oh, I suppose it couldn't be a 6. Okay, so actually this would be a 7-8 pair. That would be a 7, that would be an 8. And if this was 5, this would, that doesn't work. Hang on, maybe this can never be 5. I'm not actually sure that matters very much. But if that's 5 and we're heading to 25, these add up to 14 without using 5 or 6. So 5, 9 and 6, 8 wouldn't work. So, hang on. So if this is 18 and we put 5 here, what was the issue then? These add up to 7. Why couldn't they be 3, 4? Oh, because, yeah, because this would be the highest digit. God, it's really hard. It's so difficult. Yeah, okay. So that doesn't work. And if it's 25 and I make this a 5, these are 14. So this is never a 5. Okay. So this is 3 or 4. Now, does that have an effect on this one? I can't remember. So now 3 isn't. Well, 3's never been in here. Oh, I don't know. I'm losing track of everything in my brain. This is either 8-5 or 8-4. So if this is 8-4, this is 3. And then what? This is... That's 7-5. 7-5-1 or something. Is there a way of doing this? And I'm going to delete these pencil marks. I think I'm going to have to revisit them. It must be very difficult to go into this cell, isn't it? Isn't that always going to be the smallest? Or if I'm... Oh, no, because I just had a 7 here and a 1 or a 2 here. So no, it's not always going to be the smallest. I was wondering if I could force the path here, which would then force the path there, which would be a... Oh, actually, hang on. That's quite sophisticated, but that might matter. That might matter. Okay, let me think that through. Have I missed a rule here as well? I've sort of... Something is nagging at me like I've missed a rule. And the rule would help me. All I was thinking is... Even if I do drop into this cell, I can't then take another cell there, because that would be 2 cells in a 3-cell cage. So if I do drop here, I have to go there. And if I don't have to go there, so I'm definitely taking one of these 2 cells in this box. And I think, therefore, one of these, at least... I see. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What am I missing here? If that's a 3, what does that become? That then couldn't be 9-1-3, so that would be 7-5-1. 7-5-1. This would be 8-4, which is 12. So I'd have a lot of even digits in this box, or in this cage, to be honest. I'd have 8-4 here and 2-6 here. And there might be some meta point that says, oh, well, that means you can never go in box 2 or something, for some reason I can't even articulate, and therefore that's wrong. But it's not obvious to me what that rule is. 2-6. 2-6 is there. 2-6 can go there. I don't know. Okay, so let's do the maths on this domino. So 6 and 3 would be 9. Now, if this was adding to 25, it would therefore have to be a 7. Let me just double check. No, 9. Hang on. Am I going... I think I'm going mad now. Okay, if this is 3, this can't be a 7-9 pair because of this. So the only way that this is a 3 is if we're looking at an 18 total. But then I think there are loads of ways that this works. Although 4-5 wouldn't, because that would be the biggest digit in the box. So this would either be 7-1, which looks possible. No, 7-1 don't add up to 9. 7-2. or 1/8. But 1/8 is a much more, I think that can go either way round. And that's if this is a 3. If this is a 3, this is adding up to 9. And I'm looking at it in the hope that some epiphany dawns on me and I say, no, that doesn't work. I think that works fine. There, I've said it. I think that works fine. That would be a middly digit in the box, which is exactly what we need. Okay, so 3 I think is definitely possible here. And then this becomes 751, this becomes 84, that becomes 26, and we're fine. Right, on the other hand, if this is 4, now this might be where we get a break. If this is 4, then we've got 10 here. Now how do we make 8 in those cells? Now we can't do 3, 5 because then the 6 is the highest, but we could do 7, 1. We can't do 2, 6, so it would be 7, 1, the order would be 7 here, 1 here. On the other hand, we could be looking at 25, which is going to be a 7, 8 pair because it can't be a 6, 9 pair, and that would be 7 here and 8 here. So we've got, so these are the full options. They are the full options. But it's brutal, isn't it? I mean, I think it's brutal. I don't see a way to use that at all. Does anybody else? I mean, what other cage is under pressure here? I definitely know one of those is a 6, don't I? That is a deduction that I haven't thought about. That takes 6 out of there. Is there some... I know, okay, I worked out that the path had to go into one of these 2 cells, didn't I? That was true. I don't know how to use that. What is going on? Is it that cage? I really don't think it is, but I can see that 1 has been taken out of that cage. So if it didn't have a funny in it, it would be a bit constrained, to be honest. Not very much, but it would be a bit constrained. Oh, 8. 8 is in one of those 3 cells. Does that matter? Hang on, maybe it's that. I've got 1 of 7 and 9 in here, don't I? But this one, yeah, so this one is in there, but this one is in one of these cells. So I've got a 7 or a 9 in one of those. I can't put them both in that cell. So there is quite a high digit in here which probably has to be negated. But I could only negate one of them. And if that's a negator, all these are real. And I know I've got 13 here, don't I? And the maximum I could have there Oh, actually, hang on. Right, maybe box 3 is where I'm meant to look. I need to think this through. I think there might be an issue with this not having a negator in it, which would make those real, which actually might not be very helpful, but it might be. I don't know. Let me think this through. If this has no negator in it, then we know this is 13. The maximum size of that is 15. Which means we'd have real digits there that would sum to 28, and they would have to all be real, because we're saying that's the presumption we're making, and they would have to be the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So these would have to be the digits 8 and 9, and that can be neither. So there is a negator in there. That is absolutely forced, and therefore these digits are real. Which means there is one unnatural digit in here. Now, I have no idea what that means, but it might mean something. It's another small advance forward, isn't it? How can we use that? We can't really use path logic at all, can we? I don't think. So this, okay, so this cage now, it has one negator in it, and 3 digits that sum to either 11, 14 or 15. But the negated digit could be an enormous number. It could be a 9. I think there's a way, I suspect there's a way of thinking this through using the secret that might yield me something about these 2 digits. But I'm not sure. And do I know what the possible values of these digits are? I know these are fairly low, don't I? Because 7, 9, 8 and 6 have all gone. So these digits are from, I'm going to actually label this, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now apparently I've got 4 down here, so they're not 4. That one is not, oh, this one's very low. That's a 2 or a 3 just by Sudoku. I'd not noticed that at all. So one of these is a 1. I think I already knew that though. And that could be I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there's something going on up here. I'm trying to spot what it might be. How do we do this? The thing is, I'm probably meant to have started in that cage or something. It just... I don't know. I don't know how I'm meant to work this out. Or, what was this cage? A 17 cage. But I mean, I think there's a million ways that could be made up. That digit's interesting actually, isn't it? Because the options I've got into that cell. Hang on, here's a point. Is this it? Can we ever go down and turn right? I'm just looking at the options for this cell. And isn't it always either going to be the lowest or the highest in its cage? That's really clever if that's how fjam has set this. Let me think that through. Right, sorry, I'm going to go back here because if this is not on the path, I can't go that way. because I couldn't go straight down. I take 2 cells from this, so I'm going to have to go into that cell. And in fact, then I'm going to have to go into that cell, and that couldn't be an 8. Oh, this is huge. This is potentially huge. Right, can I ever go into this cell? So if this was 6, 3, these added up to 9. They were either 1, 8, and this would be the lowest or the highest in that situation, or they were 2, 7, and that would be the lowest, not available. Now, if that's 4, on the other hand, 10. How do we do 18? 1, 7. So this would have been 1, and that's the lowest. Or this is 7, 8, and that would be 8, and it would be the highest. This is never on the path. So that is off the path. You can't go down there, therefore. You have to turn right. And now you can't go down for exactly the same reason, so you have to go there. And now, in this cage, 8's not available. 8 is the biggest digit in this cage, so it can't be that one. That's 8. And now I can't go into that, so maybe I have to go there. Ugh, I'm not sure. Has that helped? That's a different question. I know that there's a 1 or a 2 up there that is the lowest digit in this cage, so I am allowed to go into this cell. I'm not allowed to go into this cell. That is out of bounds. So if I do go up, I've got to be going up into a 6. And then I'm going to have to be going right, not into the negator cell. So that would be a 2 or a 3. And I suppose the negator will have a value of 0 and be the lowest digit in that cage. So that would be fine. Or, that's it. This is it. This is it, right, because in a 4-cell cage, how could I possibly go through 3 cells? I can't. So I can never go here. Wow. Wow. So I have to go up. And now I've done my 2 cells in this tetromino, so I have to get out. And now that cannot be a negator. Good grief. Okay, I mean that's been available for a while, but forgive me for not spotting all that. I mean, I don't think it's terribly easy. I really don't. Okay, so now we can never go there. We can never go here, so we have to go straight on. And now we can never go there, because that's going to be a 4th cell in this box. So we're not going up. I've got an 8 pencil marked in there. I don't know whether that's a possible digit or not. Okay. Who knows? Who knows? No, I don't know. What's the value of this digit? It's not a massive old digit, is it? It could be as high as 6. That's the most it can be. That's the biggest digit that can be. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I wouldn't normally pencil mark something so absurd as that. But in this puzzle, I'm just trying to acknowledge that the path has gone into this cell. How could that possibly be an 8? It would be the biggest number in this thing, wouldn't it? So the 8 has been shunted over here, and this digit, which is definitely on the path, has to be, well, this has to be the biggest digit in this cage. It has to be, because that's definitely the lowest. So this is, yeah, and I've also got to achieve a meaningful total. So if this was a 4, this would be 4, 3, 2 adding up to 9. That's not going to work. So this is 5 or 6. I suspect, actually I'd really like it to be 5, because that would fix this, wouldn't it? Yeah, this is going to be the cage that we have to focus on, I think. But here's another point. Do you remember we talked about the 7-9 pair in this box, and one of them being here and one of them being in there? It can't be here now. So these are from 7, 8 and 9. Can I really go in there? Probably. I don't know. One of them's real. One of them's a negator. And the negator I couldn't visit. Well, yeah, I can't go in there then. There's no way I can go in there. Oh, no, I can't. I can't. Right. Whatever the digits are in here, imagine this is a negator. I clearly can't go into it. That's not going to work because it's going to be the lowest value in the cage. If this is the negator, then this digit is 7, 8 or 9. And it's green. Is it possible that one of these is higher than that? No, it's not. 7, 8 and 9 are in row 1 already. So this would be the highest digit in the cage, and that's still no good. So the path goes downwards into this cell. Now that cell can't be a 1, because obviously 1 will be the lowest digit in this cage. 9 will be the highest, so it's not that either. So that is 3, 5 or 7. And it's the middle value. Yeah, I don't think it can be 7 then. Because 7 was going with 1 and 5 in this cage. So 7 would be the top digit. So this is 3 or 5, and that's a 3, 4, 5 triple now in the row. So these are from 1, 7, 9. I still don't know anything more. This is weird. Okay. But these two are both out of bounds because they are the biggest digit and the lowest digit, and I can't go through the 8, so I have to go drop down into this cell. This video is going to be about 8 hours long. This is not easy. And I suspect I've got to focus on this digit. I am aware of that. I have also, by the way, got a 7, 8, 9 triple in this row. And I've got a 1, 5 pair. So I'm looking at 2, 3, 4, 6. It sounds like they're coming to take me away. That can't be 6, it would be the biggest digit. So now I've got a 2, 3, 4 triple, and this is a 6. So this is not a 6, that's a 1 or a 2. Might do something. I know this is the middle digit, so this is a 3. Okay. This can't be a 2, or it would be the... No, actually that's wrong, isn't it? Sorry, that was about to be an inaccuracy. Because that could be 2 and that could be 3, because that's a negator, so it is the lowest. And I said, okay, hopefully the total for this is going to get us there. It can't be 17. It can't make those 3 digits add up to 17. Yeah, I think they could be 12 or 11, though. Yeah, I think they can be 12 or 11. I know one of these is a 2. Does that help? Don't think it does. Oh, this is it's perplexing, isn't it? And what about those digits then? Are they somehow restricted? I know I've got a 7, 8 or a 9 real in here. And these are adding up to at least 5, because there's a 1 in one of these. So this could be a 2, 3 pair, probably. So we can't be adding up to 11. So we're adding up to 14 or 15 here. So could you not have a 2 in these? Then these would be 3, 4 minimum, which is 7. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Fine and almost likely. What about this for being a 6 rather than putting a 6 over here? Is that possible? No, this could be 7, 2, 6, I think. And that would add up to 15, which I think is a valid total. And I can't use the path up here because the path is never going in there. Okay. Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do. If golly, I mean, or do I somehow know this value? Oh, I've never thought about that. No. No, I don't know. I suddenly thought, oh, do I know the value of this cage? That would have been very, very exciting. But I don't. Although, that's a sort of question that I could easily neglect in this puzzle. Because it's so easy to just lose track, isn't it? At least it is for me, I think. So I know that these digits are the highest and lowest in this cage, which I still don't know its total for, although I think it's 18 or 25. Oh, hang on, that's a 3-cell cage. We know something about 3-cell cages. We can't go in them for longer than 1 cell. Good. So that's another win for the goodies. We can hive that off. We've now gone into this cell, and look, we have to turn down because these two have both been labelled yellow. So it's quite difficult actually to go further down this cage, because that would be a 3rd cell in a 5-cell pentomino, which is okay. You can do it, but only just. Then these two would have to be the lowest and the highest. Right, okay. So what do we do now? I do not know. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Are you all shouting at me? You could be. Again, I mean, where is the weak? Where are the weak spots? This cage here adds up to a whole plethora of things. This cage, a whole plethora of things. Whatever that is, it doesn't matter, does it? Is there 2, 1? I know one of these is a 2. Oh, I suppose you can't repeat a 2 in a cage, so that is not a 2. That is a valid deduction, isn't it? So that's come down to 1, 3 or 5, but I don't think these are a set, these negator cells. I think they can be whatever they want to be. So, so what do I do now? Is there some way I'm meant to understand what to do? I'm so sorry. I feel very thick here. And it could be, you know, as I say, that I've just started this puzzle in entirely the wrong place, and there's some, I mean, I don't even know where it could be. It may, you know, maybe this cage or something is under dramatic pressure. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. No, I don't believe it. I know these two. Yeah, the hardest part of this puzzle is keeping all of the rules in your head at the same time and making sure you're using them all efficiently. Because there's a sort of path building rules, and they can have a very profound impact. I mean, it's going to be very... am I supposed to somehow conclude we're not going over here somehow? I know we're not going in those cells. I can't go into that cell because I can never get out of that cell again, so I might as well label it as not available. If... what was this one adding up to? That was adding up to 20, wasn't it? So we know these two digits add up to 6. Is that useful? I don't think so. I'm not sure. 1, 5, 3. Then those two have to add up to, I can't even remember. Oh, these, yeah, that cage adds up to 13, doesn't it? That's what we thought there. And that might be okay. 18. 1827. Where do you think we have to look? I mean, it could be a cage like that, couldn't it? That doesn't have a naughtiness involved in it. Is there some reason I'm meant to know something about that? I don't know. I know these are the two middly values in that cage. I mean, that cage does feel like I should be able to do something with it, but 12 and 11 are so close together, and all of these numbers are so close together, I don't see how I can do anything with it. It could be 6, 2, 4. It could be 6, 2, 3. It could be 5, 2, 4. I think all are legitimate. I suppose, okay, what we can't do is 5, 3 there. Is that a point? Did I say 5, 3 at any point? Don't think I even did. 5... yeah, 5, 2, 4 was what I said, I think. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So it's not here, is it? Is there something I can do in this case? I mean, I've studied this already, I think. I don't know what the negator is in it. What's going on? What's going on? It's almost like I want to look away. You know, do you know what I mean? If you look away and then you come back, maybe your eyes refocus and you suddenly go, "Oh, that's the weak spot there." Is it this cage? Is there some way I know that this doesn't go to here? If it doesn't go to here, it would have to go to there. But then it could even dip back into its own thing, or it could go there. I really don't want it to have to go and visit this. I really, really don't want it. I want this path going straight down here. But having said that, where is the weakness? I don't know. I feel I've ground to a complete halt. I don't want to give this up because it's obviously. Let me just have a look at what's under the 14. Oh, hang on. I want to retain the reddening there. 14, 9, and 13 into this one. And I've got 2 reals in it. That seems to be a truth. And that's going to be the middly digit, isn't it? But that might, I mean, that could just be 2, 3, 4. With that being, I mean, it might not be able to be quite that simple. But I mean, again, I don't see why that's under pressure. Has something up at the top of the grid put weird pressures on the bottom of the grid? Is that possible? It might be. Or if this is, if that pushes this up, do we get into trouble? If that's 8, 9, then it can only negate, then we'd have at least a counting 8 there, wouldn't we? Would we care? Counting 8, no, it could be a 3, 4, oh no, it can't be a 3, 4 pair. That might be tricky. No, but why couldn't I put a 2 in there? Hang on. Or, actually, if that's 9, 1, 3, maybe that puts more pressure on this. Because this would be at least a 2, 4 then. That's 6, isn't it? So, sorry, if that's 9, 1, 3, this would be 7, 8. So 7 would be the lowest possible total. But then, okay, but then I can put, providing I can put 2 in there, we're all good to go, aren't we? Maybe that's the point. Does there have to be a 2 in there? That would be a little bit interesting. Okay, I'm going to cogitate on that. Does there need to be a 2 in this domino? I know there's a 1 here. If there was no 2 in there, it couldn't be 3, 4. So it would be at least 3, 5, wouldn't it? Now, is there a reason? It can't be 3, 5. That would break that cell. Wow. Okay, so it's even more than 3, 5. So it's adding up. Ah, so there is a 2 in there. Because it can't be 3, 6 adding up to 9. Because we're adding at least a 7 to it. And that's going to break the 15 max. So there is a 2 in there. Good grief. I mean, that's complicated, but that's a win for the goodies. That's given me another digit. That's now not a 2 as well. So now I've got a 3, 4 pair here. This is a 2. I have a feeling this isn't going to do much more, but at least, that's not a 1 now. Right. So that's the biggest digit. So, oh no, it's not, because that could have been 8, 7 in some weird world, I think. Okay, that's still fine. I'm not too worried about that. Okay. So can Sudoku now come to our rescue a bit more? Oh, hang on. Do I know what that adds up to? I've always known what this adds up to. Yeah, that's good. That's now a 5. So that's a 3, and that's a 4, and that's a 3, and that's a 4. Okay, I've got something a bit more, and I can't repeat a digit, so that's a 4. So this adds up to 6. See, it still doesn't help me. I mean, that can still be 5 or 6. But that is a 3. Now those 2 digits add up to 10. So they don't involve 7. That is a 1, 9 pair, which means these don't involve 9. So these, oh, whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. So these are 7, 8. This is a 9. This is a 7, this is a 9, this is a 7. Okay, I mean, this might do something. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, these are 2, 5, 6 now. So we're adding at least to 7 from these, aren't we? Oh, see, that does, again, it still doesn't help. It's quite unbelievable. What is going on? How does it keep resisting so dramatically? I don't know. That is absolutely remarkable. Those were 22, weren't they? And these were 17. I mean, if there was no 9, it's still fine. You can easily get to 17 without 9 and without 6. 872 would do it, and that's easy. 8. Well, I don't know whether you can do 872 specifically, but there are ways of doing it. Okay. I know one of these is a 2. I know that this is a 0 for the purposes of the thing. That's the highest digit, that's fine. Whether it's 5 or 6, 12 and 11 work. So I don't think I know more. Do I? Do I know more than I think I know? It's absolutely staggering, this. It's like it's been put together by the most devious mind. Oh, my watch is buzzing at me. Do we... Okay, they're all real. That's almost interesting. I don't... Well, certainly that can't add up to 8. Because the minimum they are is 145, which is already 10. So 8 is out for this one. Which is, I mean, it's a marginal win for the goodies, definitely. In fact, oh... Can we do better than that? Is there some point there? I was wondering whether that could be a negator. If it's a negator, I mean, I can see that can't be 7, 8, 9, because that's an 8. So if that's a negator, this would have to add up to 13 naturally, which probably means it has to have a, well, it does have to have a 1 in it then, and then 2 digits that add up to 12, which would have to be 157. That's almost quite interesting. But I don't think it's forced, is it? Why couldn't that be green? I don't think there is a good reason. I mean, you might tell me there's a good reason, but I don't think there is a good reason. Well, at least I don't see it. Okay. So instead of that, where on earth do we look now? Okay, we know they're 10 now, don't we? Does that mean that this is under different pressures to what we had before? We know that this is 10. So the options for this were either 15, which was going to be a 7-8 pair, or, okay, maybe... Does that always have to be 7 now? That would be quite big. That would be something. Hang on, let me think about that. So if this was 10, if this was 15, we worked out it would have to be 7, 8, because it couldn't be 6, 9. So it would be 7 there, 8 there. But, if this was... If this is adding up to 18, these have to be 1, 7 or 3, 5. But the 3, 5 was out, wasn't it? because that would make that the highest digit. So this is always 7, and this is a 1 or an 8. Right. Okay, I mean that's a good. I'm quite happy with that. That's fine. So I get a 7 down here, which might matter. He says, desperately trying to work out whether it really might matter or not. I don't think it really does. What did we work out the minimum here was? It's gone up a bit now. It's now 1. It's now 1. It's the snooker maximum, isn't it? It's a 147 now. Now it's got a 7 in it. 147, which is 1 less than 13. So we're either going 157 here, and then those digits would be 469, which is quite a lot. That's 19 there. Or this is, see, if that's green, I don't think there's any pressure on that. 13 is harder then. 13 is impossible, actually. If that's green, this has to add up to 24, which is slightly interesting. The reason I say that is that if this adds up to 13, I think given it's got 7 in it, if that's green, it has to be 7, 1, 2, 3, and we couldn't put 3 in the box. So if this is, let's have a think about this. If that's green, it's adding up to 24. It's using 7. I mean, this is so difficult even now. Is there some other number it's got to have in it? Does it have to have 9 in it to get there? But that could be 9. 24. I just don't see it. I don't think it's under nearly enough pressure. Right. Okay. So let's try something else. What's this 7 given me that I didn't have before, apart from a 7 down here? Or is it this panoply now? 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Let's have a quick look at that. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. But we haven't got a clue, have we? How many of these are, if any, are real? At least I don't think we do. God, this puzzle is making me feel very dumb, I have to say. I haven't felt as quite as stupid as this in quite a while. What on earth am I meant to do now? Is there some Sudoku jiggery-pokery we can avail ourselves of? How long have I got before I'm going to run out of time to make this video? I've probably got another hour, because actually editing it and uploading it are going to take time, so I really need to focus here. 9. So this could be something like 2, 4, 9, couldn't it? That would be quite nice, adding up to 15. These would be 3, 8. Would we care? Would we? I'm not sure. These 3 digits, they're at least 1, 4, 5. I couldn't have 2 negators there, so I've got at least 4 digits in here. So if this was adding up to 11, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 5, and that won't work because I can't put 2 and 3 in those cells. So I don't think this is adding up to 11. This is adding up to 26 or 24, which is It's a bit higher, isn't it? 26 or 24, but again, I know almost nothing about it. I mean, if that's an, maybe that can't be a negator then. It depends whether that's an 8 or a 1. 15 and 24, well, I still don't think that's necessarily impossible. If they were 1, 2, 3 and one of them was negated. Two, 3, 4, 8, 9. I don't know. Where are my negators? Maybe I can do better with those somehow. Or do I know this doesn't drop down again in the path? Or do I know it has to do that? It's got to do one of those two things, doesn't it? Or if it does that, maybe it can't go further. I know it doesn't go in here. That was 7, 8. Ah, that's it. Yeah. If this is 7, 8, the 4 is the lowest digit, isn't it? So that's got to be a 1 to make sure the 4 is validly... Oh, that's not going to help. It's plonked a 1 into my cage where I was pretty sure there was a 1 anyway. Does it do more than that? You see, and you could only get that once you'd got that the path went through there, and I could only get through the path went through there by thinking about whether it could go there. Oh goodness. Okay, so I've got 1 and 7 down here. Maybe that takes out the 24 option. If that's in now. Oh yeah, that does. That's weird. Okay. So now, if this was green, how could we make it work? It can't be 7, 1, 2, 3, so it couldn't add up to 13. Now, it's definitely got 7 and 1 in it, so if this is green and we're adding up to 24, the other digits would have to be a 7, 9 pair, and I'd have 2 7s in the box. So this is actually a thingy. A thingy being a technical term for a naughty old digit. So now I get loads. I get loads of green everywhere. That's fantastic. I mean, it's not going to do anything, but it is better than it was. Right. Okay, so these digits now must add up to 13. So they've got to be 1, 5, 7. And now these digits are 4, 6, 9. And that's become green now, so that might be the crucial thing. I don't know. Oh, well, there's definitely a 4 in there now. And a 9. Okay, so this has got some more thoughts to be given to it. But I think it's going to be this cage. That would be my instinct. Because now we are on 19. And I've still got that cell to come. And neither of these can be a 9. They're on the path. So that's a 9. And that's not on the path, so the path is turning. Ooh, here we go. I mean, that is a flurry of activity for the goodies. That can't be a negator, because it would be the lowest digit in this cage then. So, I don't know actually. So 9 is the top digit. The lowest digit must be a 1, 2, or a 3, or a negator here. And okay, so maybe the thing is this a negator? If it's a negator, this digit is a 7 or a 5, of course, both of which are totally fine. And if it's not a negator, these digits add up to 5 or 7, but they couldn't use 4. So they'd have to be a 2, 3 pair. It's nearly difficult. It's nearly difficult. Or if it was 7, they'd have to be a 2, 5. Is that what I said? So they're either a 2, 3 pair or a 2, 5 pair. probably have to think harder about that, don't I? But now I want to look down here because I just think it's going to be easier. What have we got here? We've got a 4 and a 9, but we don't... Oh, no. Well, we know the... No, we don't know anything. What? Just be quiet, Simon. You don't know anything. You really don't know anything. 4, 9. These digits are from 2, 3 and 8. Now... I mean, that's quite interesting. It's on the path, and whether it's 2, 3 or 8, it's relatively low or high, isn't it? If that was 8, you'd have to put an... Oh, how could that be 8? It can't be 8. Because unless I'm going crazy, I'd then have to put a 9 in the cage. And I can't. There's nowhere for a 9 to go. So that is 2 or 3. Right, so maybe we come back to the maths of this now then. If that is real, then the whole thing is real. And we're heading up for 24 or 26, so these digits. So either this is a 2, and it's part of a 2-3 pair, or it's a 5, and it's part of a 2-7 pair, because the 3-4 pair won't work. So that's option 1. Option 2 is that this is a negator, and then this is also has the option of being 7, so 2, 5 or 7 here, and I don't know whether that's green or not. Okay, but that was never 8, was it? Because that would be an important deduction. No, it can be 8. It can be an 8 if that's a negator. It can be. So that doesn't help us. Right, so it must be this one somehow. Can it all be real? If it's all real, how are we getting to these totals? I think it... Well, we're going to have 9 and 4 for 13. And then a 2 or a... It would have to be a 2. It would have to be 9, 4, 2 for 15. If it's all real. If something is negated... I mean, how do you even think this through? If the 4 is negated, what's going on? Then there's a counting 9. Yeah, that doesn't work. The 4 is real. The 4 is counting, because 9 can't partner up with anything that's an option here to make 10, 15 or 18. So what about the 9? If the 9 is negated... No, if the 9... Hang on, let me think. If the 9 is negated, the 4 is real. No, that doesn't work either. So the 9 and the 4 are real. And 9 and 4 make 13, and 13 isn't a valid total, so the whole thing is real. God. And therefore, if the whole thing is real, where's the negator in the column? It's there. Good grief. Right, so now this is not 2. This is 5 or 7 to take this up to the correct total. That is unavailable because it's a negator, so we can't go there. So we've got to go here. And now, this is really interesting. No jokes about me at parties. These are out of bounds because this is a 4-cell cage. We can't go through 3 cells of a 4-cell cage. So I've got to continue over here. I can't go up. I know that. I can't take 2 cells of a 3-cell cage. Right, but let's come back to this then, because isn't this now... It's 9, 4, and then another digit that takes us up to either 15 or 18. And we can't use 5. So this is big. This is big. This is 2, 4, 9, and that is 3, and that is 8. And now I know what these digits are, which these are 3, 6, 8. And I know what these digits are, which is 2 and 5. And that's quite surprising. Oh, and I can't repeat 3 in the cage. So this is the top digit in this cage, whatever. So I can definitely say that's out of bounds because it's either negated or it's the top digit. It's one of the... Oh, in fact, look at that. There is a negator in one of these. So so this is not negated. So it's almost like this has to be negated. If that... Hang on. If that was if that was not negated, the 2 would be the lowest digit, and that would be a 5. And if that was negated, the 0 would... Hang on. This is incredibly complicated for me. Let me just do that again, because I think in both variations I got this being a 5, but that might have been rubbish. If this is negated, I can't go through the... No, then I can't go through the 5, because that's the top digit, so that would be a 2. So it is. I think it's either way round. I don't think it tells us. But we've got to... Hang on. Oh no! It's 10, 16 or 18. And whatever this is, whether it's negated or not, every single option works. That's incredible. That's distressing, actually. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, sorry. How do we do that then? Here's a funny old point. How does the path work? How does the path get from here? This is out of bounds. Whatever. How does it get out of box 7? Is that a bad question or a good question? I think it's a reasonable question. Because what I'm seeing here is that these two are... The negators are either a barrier like that or a barrier like that, aren't they? And whichever way round they go, the only way of getting through the barrier that will be built once we establish where they go is to go actually through both of those cells. If either of these cells was inaccessible to the path, you couldn't get out. So in fact the path goes through there. I don't know what that means, but probably... Well, I tell you something it means. It means it carries on, because now I've taken my 2 cells that I'm allowed to take in this foursome. So the other 2 digits, this must be the lowest and the highest, one of which is a negator, so that makes sense. The other will be the highest digit, which almost makes me want to say it's an 8, but I can't quite do that. So we've got to carry on after that, because both of these are now inaccessible. And now this is a 4 by Sudoku, because it has to be the middle value. And this after that we can't turn, can we? This is good. This is good. We've got to continue. We can't go through these 2 cells now, because they would be, one of them is low, one of them is high. So we must continue, and now we can do exactly the same here, except we can't, because that has a value of 0. So the only thing I can say is that's not a 7. That's so difficult. It's so easy to just go, oh, that could be a 1. Or it can't be a 1 now, and put 5 in here. But because this has a value of 0, whatever's in it, we can't do that. Right. Okay, but that's still good. We've still got a bit further. And I know this is the middle value of this cage, and I know that this cage adds up to 17. I know both of these are out of bounds, and this is a 3-cell cage. So I can only take one of those cells. but I mean, it's so bizarre. I mean, if that could be a negator and that could be a 1-3 pair. And then I could go through the 1. Okay. All right, so we can't go further with that. So now I've got to find another thing to look at, and I don't even know where to begin to look. It's the same thing again. You get stuck on the puzzle, and I haven't got a clue what to look at. I know there's a negator down here, but I don't think I know what's in the negator. I'm not sure. So I can put 1 in this cage because the negator is going to be the lowest value in it. Gosh, there's a lot of sirens this evening. I know there's a 3 in here, but I don't know if it counts. I know that that is another middly value for this cage. But the middly values could, bizarrely enough, include the digit 1. I've looked at this cage. I don't think it tells me enough. I mean, I have looked at that cage. I mean, I looked to see whether I thought it could be a 4, and I thought it could be, so I don't think it's that one. Is there some way that we can that we know what's going on? It could be, actually I just don't know. It could be that maths has abandoned me, and it's totally obvious. I mean, these 3 digits are all real digits, so they are adding up to 9, 14 or 13, but I don't think we know anything about any of them. We know that digit is the middle of them. But that could be... Oh, I suppose maybe it can't be a 2. I think it can be, actually. Oh, no, it can't be. Oh, okay. All right, let's have a look at that. I mean, this is a crazy point, but I'm going to think about it. I don't think that can be a 2. Because if that's a 2, isn't that implying one of these is a 1, because this is on the path? And that means we must be heading for the total of 9, because we've only got 3 in 2 of the digits. And that means we must be putting 1, 2 and 6 into this cage. And that would have to be 1 and 6, that doesn't work. So the middle digit is not a 2, and it's not a 3 or a 4, so it is at least a 5. So it's 5, 6 or 8. Now if it's 8, it can't be 8, because the top digit would be a 9, and that won't work. So now I've got a 5, 6 pair, and that's a 7. Oh, I didn't want that. I wanted that to be a 5. I was thinking that might be how you resolve these 2. I mean, it's still another remarkably clever deduction from fjam. I just wish I was clever enough to spot these things more quickly. Oh, that's nearly interesting. It's nearly hard for that to be a 7, isn't it? Because that would have to be the middly digit here. So it would be a 7, but it could be 7, 8, 2. If that could be a 2, 8 pair. Nearly. Okay. What about this column then? Or in fact, maybe this cage still. We've got a 5 in it. We can't have a... No, we might not have a 5 in it. If we do have a 5, we can't have a 6 or a 7. So it would be a 5 and 8. So it would have to, in that situation, be 5, 8, 1. It's the only way it could exist. If that is a 5, in order to keep the total for the cage down to 13 or 14, because we can't put 6 in it, and we couldn't put, neither of those could be a 6. If that's 5, it is exactly 5, 1, 8, like that. And that might not be possible for some reason, I don't know. But if it's 6, it might even be harder. If it's 6, yeah, what's the high digit? This is it. If you put 6 in, what's the high digit? It's got to be at least 8, and that's going to blow the total up. So it is 5, that's 6. Oh, this must do something, please. This is 1, this is 8. 1 is now a real digit in my 22 cage. And weirdly enough, I know those digits are 2, 8, 9, which is... And that's an 8, right, so that's an 8 and that's a 7. Is that going to help me up here? No. Don't be so ridiculous. It literally doesn't. I don't know which of these is the negator still. All 14 and 15 are totally valid totals. 6 here, I hadn't seen that, so that's 6 and that's 4. Right, so what do I need here? 2, 3, 9. No. Well, I do need 2, 3, 9, but of course, apparently... Well, hang on. How could this be? This can't be a 2, 3 pair. That won't work, because we know this is adding up to 17, so one of these is a 9. So this becomes a 2 or a 3. One of these is 9. The other 2 digits are therefore adding up to 8 to get to 17. And this digit can't be a 6, so it's not 2, 9. It's 3, 9, and I know the order. 3, 9, 2, 2, 5. This is a 5. That's a 5. That's a 2. Let's just double check it. I think it felt logical. It felt logical. That's all I can say. Now, what about this column then? 1, 2, 4, 7. 1, 2, 4, 7. And that isn't 7, and that isn't 4. I think I'm just going to have to pencil mark everything to death. I mean, I really do. This is 3, 4, 6, 9. And, okay, that's useful, actually, really strangely. I get a 4, 9 pair, and well, I say useful, it then doesn't do anything, of course. These squares are 1, 2, 4. So these are, yeah, so 7 is placed in this box. So that's 7, that's 8. Doesn't do the 1, 5 pair, but still, it's a win for the goodies. And 8 is the biggest digit in this box, in this cage. So I can't go into it. So I must turn down, and I don't turn down into a 1. So this digit is not a 1 anymore. Right. And then you think, okay, well, that's going to do something. No, don't be so ridiculous. Hang on though now. What about that? If this is a counting digit, the 2 is the lowest digit in the box. So that is not a counting digit. That is a naughty digit. This is a naughty digit. And these are both nice digits. Now, that's going to do something, he says. I mean, that's a gratuitous overstatement. You can't go back in here, can we? Come on. Okay, I don't know what this means. I mean, I know something over here is horrendous. Gosh, look at it. I'm over 2 hours. This is never going to get processed in time and uploaded for 8:30. It just isn't. Come on, Simon. You've got to really use your brain now. That is not a 4. Okay, not maybe the most dramatic deduction in Christendom. That is not a 2. Okay, and I've got the... Oh, well, no, this is a naughty, isn't it? So the highest digit in this would be an 8. So that can't be 8. That's got to be 3 or 6. And I know, okay, the highest... Let me think about that. Does that have to be 8? No, I don't think it does. Can it be 3? 3's too middly. No, 3's too middly. These two digits are they're the highest and the lowest, and this is the highest digit in this cage because that's definitely the lowest. So that can't be 3. That's got to be 3. I've got this 6-8 pair now. Okay, so maybe it's the total. This is the highest, so if this was 7, that would be 8, and 18 would work. I don't believe it. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised now, but if that's 6, then I'm on 9. That could be 2, and that would work. And if that's 8, 3... that could be 2. I mean, everything works. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievably unfair. There's a 3 in one of those. I know this... this is not adding up to 4 anymore, because that's actually... this is 3 counting digits. I'm looking around trying to see how we're meant to know what goes on here. It's not at all obvious. Is it? Is this obvious to any? Is anybody looking at this going, "Oh, it's totally obvious"? They probably are. So whichever one of these 3 we go through, it's the middly digit of a 15 or 16 total. But I don't know. I know if that's 7, that is 8. Does that cause any problems with anything? I don't think so. I know the highest digit in this one is 7. So whichever one of these is 7, we can't go through a 9. We can't go through a 9. So if we go up here, we have to turn right, and if we go down, we have to go there and there. And then okay, so we'd have to finish. If we do go down, we have to go straight for the end, because we can't take more than 2 cells in a 4-cell thingy. So that couldn't be 9. So these 2 would have to be the middly digits. And that might be fine. I'm just not sure. Can I do some Sudoku? 5 is in what? 5's in one of 3. 7 is in one of 3. Don't think I know that. Don't think I know that. Don't seem to know that either. Oh, have I got the secret? Can the secret help me here in box 7? If that's 12, surely I don't get enough. No, I'm not having that that's 12. If this is 12, the maximum that can be is 16. And that's in theory possible, because those 7 cells, all counting, would add to 28. So they would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But 8 and 9 have no place you can put them in the box. So actually this corner box is massive, isn't it? That is a 26 or a 27. And we know this is a 15 or a 16. This is it. Right. So what I'm now claiming is that these 7 digits here add up to a minimum of 41, which would be if this was 26 and this was 15. So these add up to a maximum of 4 by the secret. Well, they can't add up to 4. So they must add up. They must be a 1-2 pair. I don't quite know what the ordering is, but they must be a 1-2 pair. And now, oh, okay, now, oh, well, that's good. Okay, that gives me that one, and that one, and that one. It means it could still turn left, unfortunately. Okay, but this digit is a 7. That digit is, no, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. Ah, it's all good. It's all good. We get a load of 7s, but the key thing, surely, is that I can't turn into this 7 because it's the biggest digit, so I've got to turn up. And then I've got to go there, and then I don't know. We'll think about that in a moment. Yeah, we could go up. Bother. Okay, but so actually what we worked out is that these two cages sum to 42 now, which is going to be 15 and 27 or 16 and 26. We still don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, I don't understand how that can possibly be the case, but I shouldn't be surprised. I should not be surprised. That can't be a 9. And I've got a 1 here, so that's right. Okay, so now at least I know what these are. These are 3, 4, 8, and I know what these are. These are 5, 6, 9. And that is a naked single 8, apparently, which is lovely. And that takes 8 out of this one. Which must do something. Right, what do we know about this then? Can it have 9 in it? If it has 9, no, 9 in there would plus the 7 is already 16. That would have to be a 0. So this is interesting. The middle digit in this triple is that cell. Whatever digit it is that cell. So we're going through there, and the only way to go through it, because it's 3-cell cage, is straight through it. So in fact, we've now got a little bit more. Now this can't be a 9, because that would be too big for this cage. So we've got a 9 here, which means we get a bit more. We get a little bit more. Oh, chocolate teapotted here. Okay, but that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 9, that's an 8, that's a 2. Please. Okay, that's an 8, that's a 6. Oh, no. This is 1, 5, 6. How can I not do the 3 and the 4 here? Okay, maybe maths does it. 7. I don't know what these add up to. They either add up to 8 or 9, and everything's available, of course. And I don't know what these add up to, do I? Because this is either 26 or 27, so this doesn't work either. Okay, but what about the bottom row? 3, 4, 5. Is 3, 4, 5 is the... Oh, no. Well, hang on, I've got to be a bit careful here. How does this all finish up then? I mean, we must be very close to... Okay, look, we can close that gap. I've very nearly got the path. I've very nearly got it. I've just got to get from here to there. And I think we should be able to do that. It might take me a while, but eventually I hope to get there. Right, that can't be a 5, because there's a 5 in here. So this is 1 or 6. Okay. I mean, do I have to pencil? Oh, hang on, that's a 2. Oh, but there's going to be a... Oh, we don't know that that's... Oh, hang on, I've got a funny thing here. Right, that's good. So there's a funny there, a normal here, but if the funny was there, that would mean... That would allow this to be on the... Well, it is on the path. Maybe that's the point. Well, okay, we're going to have to think this through. I don't quite understand what's going on. But these digits are from 1 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I didn't really want to do that, did I? Actually, I know these have got 5 in, so 1, 3, 4, 6. And I've got to make sure the 8 is the biggest digit in this cage, and the lowest digit is going to depend. Well, that's not true. The lowest digit is in one of those 2 cells. I don't know which one it is, but it is. So if we did, to get out of the corner, if we went that way, we couldn't bump into the 8. We'd have to go up, and one of these digits is the lowest, and that's not allowed. So we've got to go up. And now I don't. I mean, we could go there. I mean, it's so ludicrous, but we could if that's a 6. So I've got them closer together, and I still don't know what to do. Okay. Oh, I don't know. It's probably this cage. Although I've never thought about the total of this cage. If that was a blank, 11. These would add up to 9. That's possible. 6, 3 would work. How do you do this then? What am I not remembering about the various rules that we're trying to deal with? It could be, I mean, it could be anything. It could be, okay, let's think about this. If that was, I don't know whether to think about whether this is real or not. If that's 9, it can't be visited, obviously. And then this would be a 1, and that would be a 6, and that would be a 3. This would be a 4, wouldn't it? Hang on. If that's 9, this is a 3, 4 pair, I think. I'm not so sure about that. 9, 1, 6, 3, yeah. So this would be, if that's 9, this is a 3, 4 pair. So that we've got 9 there, which is not a valid total. So if that's 9, it's real, is what I'm going to claim. If that's 9, we have to be going for 18. So if that's 9, it's real. And what about if it's 4? Then I think it's impossible to see anything really, isn't it? If it's 4, it's going to. What do we know then? Anything? I don't know. I mean, I don't even really know how to think that through. If it's 4, this is 9, this is 9, this is 1. So this is a 1, 9 pair. That corner digit's not 5. Oh, look, 5. I can place it in the bottom row. Is that going to do anything for me? No. Oh, you're kidding. Is it something to do? Can I visit that cell? I think I can. Yeah, that's a 0. That's a 9. Right. So this is a possible visiting cell for this cage. I could be going up and over, or I could be coming here. And if that's, I still don't know whether this is the lowest digit in this cage. It's completely intractable, isn't it? Ooh, got something. Right. I can disprove 9 there, can't I? Because I said that could be a 9 for 18. And that's true, except that 2's the lowest digit in that box then, I think. This might not be able to be 9. Let's go through that again. If that's 9, 1, 6, 3, 4 is how it goes. So these 3 digits all count, they add up to 9, not a valid total. So this has to be green. But the 2 is low and it shouldn't have been visited. So that is 4, and that is 9. Now, unfortunately, that does do some Sudoku. It does do some Sudoku. So there's now a 6 in this box. There probably always was. This is not a 4. And in order for this to have been visited, I don't know. These are counting, aren't they? So if this is... which way round do we think is going to break? If that's counting, then I've got 6. I need these to add up to something useful. 12 is not going to work for 18, I mean. 5 doesn't look promising either. So I'd need, I can do 9, can't I? Bother. Yeah, so what I've noticed there, although, hang on, no, that doesn't work again, because this would be the lowest. This is really complicated. Right, if this is real, i.e. it's not negated, I want to go through this very carefully. First thing we can say, if that's a green digit, this cannot be the lowest, so actually that would have to be a 1, wouldn't it? So we get 7 in these cells, and we're adding 3 or 6 to 7, which is 10 or 13. It's no good at all. So in fact, that's the way to think about it. This is negated, definitely, which means that is negated. These two are natural. Now, I mean, the weird thing is that might not help very much. Or it should help in some way, but now we've got to work that out. So this is a 0, which means these, the maximum value of which is 11. The maximum value is 11. If this is 3, 6, it has to be 11, because that's the lowest value. So this is, it's definitely not 5. It's a 3, 6 pair, and that is a 1. And that's 1, and that's 5, and that's 6. Please, please just be kind to me now. Oh, don't believe that. How can that? How can it not be resolved? It's unbelievable. And oh, I was going to say, and I've broken it because this card 2 can't be on the path, but it can because that's a 0. That's fine. That's fine. But what do we do? Is it that one? I've never looked at this one, not even once. These are all real. Okay, we're not adding up to 11 then. Oh, we're adding up to 21. Oh, this is where we should have looked. These are, oh, but we didn't know. We've only just found out there's no naughtiness in it. So these add up to 10. That's doable. That's got to be 4, 6. 4, 6, 3, 6. Oh, I'm gonna do that last. 4, 3. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight losing its religion. And we've done it, but we haven't done it. Because we have not, I don't know what the path is. The 6 is unvisitable. It's the biggest digit in this cage. So I've got to turn up. And then I've got to turn that way. The 3 is fine to visit, so I must go across. Now is the 6 okay? The 6 is fine. The 4 is fine. And then we go through the 7. I mean, good grief. That is one of the hardest puzzles. Wow. Wow. My goodness, what a Halloween workout that was. I do not know. I mean, how many things I've missed through that solve. I think it's a gazillion. But I'm just delighted to get through it. I mean, fjam again comes up with something quite extraordinary. Happy Halloween, everybody. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.